It's too hot to dig, so we're going to do an exploration. There is an old growth red cedar forest that is part of a nature preserve at one of the townships near me. And I am here, and I got my cane that Freddie made me. And I got to get up that hill first. So I'll get back to you once I get up there. There's lots of beautiful gnarly stumps down here of the red cedar. And that's still solid. Still real solid. Beautiful bits of nature. 95% of this is old growth red cedar, which is a very, very slow growing tree. Some cedar trees have been known to live as long as 1,000 years. So, and before we leave here, we are going to measure a cedar tree, and I'm going to show you how to calculate the actual calculation of how to determine how old a red cedar is. It's different for each tree, each kind, different species of tree. But I have the numbers to calculate for the red cedar. I mean, these trees, I've been here, I'm guesstimating 300 years or more. We got an old cedar plank bridge that somebody did to get across the creek. Now, actually, it's not a creek. It's a natural spring that springs out of the ground right there. Now, let's go over there. This is a natural spring. See if I can get down there without falling in or sinking. Ooh, it's sinky. See that? We are going to balance across that. Hopefully it's not wiggly. It's solid. Ooh. We're going to use the cane for leverage here. Balancing. Woohoo! Whoa! I am shaking. Got across. Oh my goodness. Let's see what I mean about how these trees shape the land. Look at that. Natural dens underneath the roots of these 100-year-old cedars. These here look like they're about 100 years old. And then you get one like that, twice the size. Okay, climb back up the hill. Last fall, I think, I was back here and discovered, I ended up reporting to the township, calling that township and letting them know that there were dirt bikes back here. They had made their own tracks and stuff and had tore up the whole countryside. Okay, climb over that. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. You got ferns growing in here. There's the little ferns. These are what's left of trillium plants, which are bloomed earlier this spring. But it looks like it's been cleaned up. Looks pretty darn good. Part of the forest that gets more sun, the ferns are bigger. There's more cedar trees here. I mean, these are probably, I would guess, 150 years old here. There's my hand. Beautiful nature. Very peaceful here, even though it's not far from a road. See, this is where somebody came back here with a chainsaw and just started cutting stuff. And I reported all this and they put a stop to it. You can see where they chainsawed all this. There's one cedar there, look how tall he is. He's green on top. It's a good sized cedar forest. Good. I'm trying to watch for critters. Haven't seen any yet. Lots of trees down. We haven't had any really bad storms this summer yet. Actually, we haven't had hardly any rain this summer yet. We need rain bad here. And here's another stream. It's probably another part of that same spring, just farther down. Okay, step on that. Step across. Yeah, right there, I'm looking way down now. Right there was where they had cut a cedar tree down. A really wide one, I don't know where it went, and made a ramp across. Where somebody dumped all the wood they cut. But there never have been any home sites on this property or anything like that. No buildings, nothing. It's always because of the value of the nature. They have always kept this as township property. And they're going to be working on maybe adding some benches and things, you know, to stop and rest every once in a while. I'm surprised we haven't seen a deer yet. I saw several deer the last time I was here. Look at that massive clump there. Massive clump of red cedar. Beautiful. Look, here's some wild columbine. I think it's still too young to bloom. I forget how many years old they have to be before they bloom. And I'll get back to you if I find a bit of nature or something. Okay, we're going to measure. This is an average size tree. It's not one of the biggest ones, but here's an average size tree. We're going to measure it. It says 4.5 to 5 feet up. I need to measure it. Okay, we're going to set that there. Are you going to stay there? I'm going to catch you on that. Okay. All right. This tree measures, I'm guessing, oh, here we go. It's going to give me. This tree measures, let's say 59 inches. Or 58 inches. It's 58 and a half, but we'll say 58 inches. Okay. I'll keep this measuring tape with me. Okay. So, the first thing we do is we measure the circumference of the red cedar tree, 4.5 to 5 feet above the ground. Step 2, you divide that number by 3.4, which is pi, for the diameter of the tree. Then you divide the diameter, third step, divide the diameter by 2.0 to get the radius. Deduct if the tree has heavy bark. It doesn't have heavy bark. Okay, and then the fourth step, divide the radius, because this number you come up with after you divide the diameter by 2 will be your radius. You have to divide that by 0.05, which is the growth rate for a red cedar. Okay, so let me do all that and I'll get back to you. So I did all the calculations on the calculator and it came to a little over 9 inches. Now 5 inches is equal to 100 years, approximately 100 years. So 9 inches, this tree is almost 200 years old. And that's a medium-sized one. So there are trees in this forest that are 300 and 400 years old that were here before the town ever was founded. So isn't that interesting? But you can Google. I know there's a calculation for white oaks is a little bit different than the red cedar because white oaks grow faster than red cedar does. So, but just a little tidbit of information when you're out exploring, you know, or hiking. You can get an idea of how old these trees are. Sitting here on a cedar log, taking a break. There's that cane that Freddie made me. It's really helping a lot. I got my water, hydrating. Let's see what else we can find. Hey. Well, critters have been digging in this, trying to find bugs to eat. Now, if we were up north in the UP, I would have said a bear did that, but we don't have any bears down here. Some more beautiful cedar roots somebody's chopped off. I think they should incorporate these, maybe make a bench in between for a rest area. It's right near the trail. That would be perfect. I mean, all it's going to take is manpower. That's all it's going to take is some manpower. Won't cost a whole lot. Or volunteers. The manager in charge of this was thinking about maybe involving a scout troop. Well, I followed a different path back. I better get back on the path. Isn't that beautiful how the roots grow? Look at that. See that? That's a monster tree right there. I bet you that's 200 to 300-year-old tree right there. I haven't seen any squirrels. I can hear them way off, but I don't hear them in here. I have a feeling it's this kind of habitat. This is kind of a boreal forest habitat. But it's in the lower part of Michigan, which is unusual. Oh, look at that little baby stump like that. But it's great habitat for owls. But I haven't seen any up in the trees yet. I've been looking, but I haven't seen any up in the trees yet. So, here's some more gnarly roots. Let me back up. Look at those. They just stretch all over. There's a birch tree in amongst the cedars. Right there. The trail forks, but that goes down to the swamp. I'm not going down the swamp. I don't have my swamp boots on. Got chipmunks, blue jays, deer, raccoons, in this forest. So, a little bit of nature's bounty preserved. So get outside. Get your kids outside. I mean, you can find a thick old growth forest in some park or nature preserve somewhere to get out of the direct sun. I mean, it's still hot in here, but I bet you it's 10, 15 degrees cooler in here than outside of this forest. So, good luck in your adventures of digging or exploring or bottle collecting, and have a happy 4th of July. Keep getting out there and never give up. Thanks for watching.